questions on Module 1 will be mainly addressing the impact of global trends on Vodafone workplace strategies. You considered demographic changes, digitalization, and health and well-being as the most significant mega trends that will affect our way of working. How do you think work will be like in the near future based on these mega trends? Can we consider COVID-19 as an additional event being able to change the world of work? Do you still believe that demographic change will be the most relevant mega trend impacting the evolution of the work environment?
Hi, Chiara. I will gladly reply to this question with a strong and firm yes. So I think COVID will affect definitely the way we work in the future, and demographic will play a big part to understand how we have to rework the way we work, and mostly the purpose of why we get together physically, why we will get together physically in the future. I think the demographic won't change, of course, massively. We will still have the same trend in the so-called the new generations mixing up with the old generations as well at work, but definitely they will have different needs, and they will have also different aspiration and purpose to get physically together. So yes, it is very important to look into it, and we are actually doing it at this point in time by launching surveys and interviewing people experiences during this unusual time.
Okay, great. Yeah, according to the mission expressed on Vodafone website, the company's intention is to reach everybody, including minorities, through technology. Are employees' differences taken into account, into consideration in planning the work environment? For instance, we analyzed Vodafone's population, and we saw that the average age is between 35 and 49 years old, that 20% of employees are younger than 34 years old, and 20% are older than 50 years old. And also, we saw that 45% of workers are men and 55% are women. So how can Vodafone manage to meet all the different needs and the behaviors also that this varied population expresses?
So as I said for previous question, demographic is very important when it comes to planning the working environment and to consider differences. I'll start with my answer considering the breakdown that you rightly so, and well done for your researched into our website. So yes, the differences in age are quite relevant. What we found out in our surveys is that younger people tend to be willing to come together and to create a sense of community. It's also interesting for Vodafone to make sure that they feel that they have a sense of belonging to the Vodafone community, and they feel the purpose and the spirit of Vodafone. And therefore, definitely when we plan the future offices, we'll be taking in consideration this aspect and the percentage of the demographic. When it comes to the more senior part of the employees, usually what happens is that they have a more comfortable working environment at home, and B, they usually don't feel the need to go into the office unless they have to really do a task that requires a physical environment to do so, which for Vodafone, hopefully it's not a technology issue. So
Yeah.
when we talk about inclusiveness, though, we also consider not only the demographic breakdown, but also the situation and different needs of people. You mentioned the percentage of women. which comes with childcare, which shouldn't be, because actually men should also take care of the children at home. But still, there are care situations that we need to take in consideration. There are also other aspects like violence at home, and we have to make sure that we secure our employees and give them the option to come into the office. Again, this factors into the planning and the space model of the future of the offices. I'm always talking about post-COVID, of course.
Yeah, of course. No, it's interesting that, I mean, what emerges is the possibility in the future to basically have a younger population coming to work in the physical office and the older population instead staying at home and maybe managing the space at home in a different way to accommodate work, of course, and work activities.
Yeah, then, well, it's more about, although we did and we are finding out from our surveys that there is a different trend within demographic. I would say it's more about when planning a space, making sure that you give the option. So making sure that you actually respond to the diverse needs. And again, for inclusion, I did mention one example of the violence at home, but there are several, of course, that we take in consideration.
Yes. Thank you. It's important to point this out because, of course, like differences are so like varied and sometimes also unpredictable that it's really important to keep them checked. Finally, I would like to ask something regarding the square footage. So analysis make evident that companies prioritize decreasing office square footage, at least over time. As you are managing over 100,000 square meters of net internal area and 33 buildings, are you thinking of reorganizing your portfolio? And then especially like referring to the impact of COVID-19, are you thinking about reducing or decreasing the office space?
So we definitely are looking into our portfolio. I would say, though, that it is a consequence more than a driver. And we firstly are trying to understand what will be the purpose of the office in the future post-COVID, and then build up a space model according to the purpose of the space. It will come out which is the savings that we can make. There is clearly an opportunity here to reduce our footprint, both from a call center perspective and from an office perspective, as we did I think our experience in terms of working from home was very good, and we did make sure that we proved that we can work from home as well. As I said, we are living unusual times, so of course we will need to find out which is the new business as usual. This is to say that now we are working more or less 90% of the overall population working from home, whereas of course in the new business as usual, we will have a more balanced percentage, which again has an impact on the square footage.
Yeah. Hopefully, this will have also impacts on the environment and on maybe the, urban environment in general in terms of development, also of peripheral areas and so on.
Considering that one of the purposes of Vodafone is Planet, of course, there is an opportunity here as well to make sure that we do follow our purpose and our strategy related to Planet.
Of course. Great. That's a fantastic goal and good luck with it. Thank you, Mirna. Talk soon.
Thank you.